So I've taken a little bit of time to study this piece. This is a very excellent piece. And since everyone else could see, of course, the eye, the nose, and the mouth of the girl in this, just looking more like at that section, just like that, kind of ignoring these pieces that I'm covering up. The more that I look at it, and of course her face is just recessed here, and her neck is right there, and this is just all of her face, if you guys aren't seeing it right at first. This is a statue that was kept around for tens of years, maybe a decade or longer, and kept up. There's no way that they engineered this in the amount of time, and I'm going to show you why right now. So actually these are multifaceted. So this is an eye on the same face. See how this statue with all of her hair coming back there, she's a girl. This is a small face for, she hasn't grown into her hair yet. If you look at this right here, that's another eye. So kind of ignore, of course, ignore this other profile here, and just ignore that this is an eye for right now. If I could cover it up. And look at this section, the gray section right to the left of my finger there, and you'll see that that is the eye. Just ignore that one. I'll move my hand out of the way. And you'll be able to see that there's actually a portrait of a woman in there, if you can see that. What's maybe easier to see is that that is actually also the beak to a, see the circle? That's the eye of a bird. There's a large bird on top of her head. If you can see that this whole thing on top, it's actually could be a bird headdress as well. So if you see the crest for the bird would be right here, and I'll just ignore this little tab. You see how that's carved in there like that? And this is the beak right here, and the rest of this is just the bird's neck. So cover her up, just look at the bird there. And there she is again. There's also a portrait of a woman on this side. There's several portraits on this artifact. Going to adjust the light just a little bit and see if we can get these ones to come out easily. There's really no way to do this having the camera fixed, because I can't show you these carvings for these eyes. So just look at the carvings in there. You'll see how there's a circle, and you see the bow, or you know, shaped like a rainbow almost. There's a line underneath it. There's little lines coming out around it. That's an etched in eye. Now the eyes that you can see like this are normally on a hat. So she's gonna be, there's gonna be a person in here with a headdress, and there they are. There's their eye, their nose, their chin, right there, and their mouth. So I'm gonna tilt it just a little further so you guys can see. Try to keep it focused. It's a little statue of a person with a very large headdress. You can see how the headdress is cut off right here. See how the carving is? That's the large eye on the headdress. And then the profile image is within here. You can see the headdress comes down. Look at the carvings. I'll try to get that portrait a little better for us here. So you can see the eyes and the mouth, and usually little tiny lips will poke out as well. See, the extra light sometimes doesn't help, but it does help to see some of these carved in eyes. Do you see those lines in there? You see that little spot and that diamond? So when we tilt it to the side, you can see how the, like little petroglyphs, right? Like cave paintings are coming out. Sorry for it's moving around so much. I'm just trying to hold it steady, but it is very heavy. There we are. You see the little lines coming out from it? And inside the circle, or inside the like the grayer area there, that is the eye. If you're not seeing it, you can move your camera away. I'll try to do that for you here. Might be easier if you do it because I'm not keeping the focus. So there's a lot more on this. If we look for like a larger face, looking for more of the easier ones, there's one down here. You can see a very large eye dug in. You see the hole, I'll cover it up. There it is right there. Take a look at that eye and you'll see like a profile portrait. Let's take a look here. Okay, that helps with the shadows there, so you can see some of the, the different heights of the stone there. Seeing a couple of the archetypes, but it's nothing that's very recognizable. This art does take a little time to learn how to understand. There are characters involved, just like a show, a TV show. And once you get to recognize these characters, you'll be able to pick up on this art a lot faster. That's why I've been trying to document them as much as I can. So this side still has some paint on here. You can see that it is just like a big old face. See the black paint. Over here would be the eye, and the lips would be down there. Go ahead and probably set this one down and point some of that out. The way that you look at this art, if this is your first time, is as if you're looking over the shoulder. So of course you see the big painted eye there. The facial features aren't going to be perfect because there's so many different faces on here. So as we tilt it and put it upside down in different ways, there'll be different ones, but you guys will probably pick up on some different ones. Every line and every piece of paint on here is something for some face or some image. So there are a few more birds on here as well. See, I'm not really doing it justice by keeping it in like the brightness right there. So if we look at right side profiles here, you'll start to see like a layering of different profiles. So this hairline is one of the archetypes. You can see how it comes up. All this yellow that's kind of separated in a different color, that's all hair. And if we tilt that, probably see the portrait of a woman with a long hair. Okay, I'm seeing, if I can get my little feather out from under so an eye right there. You guys can see that one. The nose and then the lips will be in there. Let's go ahead and get a little side shot. You can start seeing all the way down the line how many little profile portraits there are. I'm not going to be able to sit out here and point them all out, but I'll try to find some, at least one or two more down the line here. In this case, it's probably easier looking at the stone, but the camera's in the way and I kind of zoomed in a little bit there. So changing height and distances is important. So here we can see a large eye socket that's dug out. Upside down, these are also going to be faces, so they're not going to look perfect. There's also an eye carved in right here. So it's going to take some tilting and moving around, but let's give it a shot. So just from this side, I was just picking up on that one carved in eye. Let's see how many more. What I'm doing now is looking at, for like still the long hair, just looking at the edges here. You can see all these, like how it's like a row right here. Looking at all this row for a row of lips. To be honest, I'm really not seeing them because right here I'm sure it gets really complex. There's a couple of them, but I know they're there because I can see the little eyes and the little carvings for the eyes. You see these spots right here? And you see how they're three little lines. This is a little statue, a very complicated statue. So right on the there's a lot of surface imagery actually on this. If you look right here, we'll look at surface imagery for the rest of this video, but so right here there's a portrait of a person. That's her mouth and nose and her her eye right there. So if I can show you guys, the spot that I'm looking at is right inside of my hand there. Trying to keep the light on it, but also get it in there with the phone. Here we go. Do a little zoom in so you can see that. That's much better, huh? There we go. So now you can see that color and the carve in the eyes. So that's the pupil and the little lines that are coming around out from under it. So that's some surface imagery on this stone. Might be easier for you guys to see. And of course, if you weren't seeing it before, this is the nose and the mouth carved in right here. So then, actually, they might even have some of their body as well coming down. So look along here. That might be, oh, okay. So then this is all of her hair. See the yellow? So the face, there's a couple different faces. There's an eye here and a nose and a mouth for a face. But the face isn't just the face, right? It's the hair and everything. So then there's also an eye up here. I thought that might have been the original eye, but what I'm seeing now is the eye is always like on the head just for the hair. So all this right here flowing is all hair. All this yellow, you see the darker yellow with maybe orange in it. All this section right here that comes all the way back, and you see how it's ruffled back here, is all hair. The rest of this image with the eye, the nose, and the mouth here is the person's face. And so the rest of this, all back here, is all hair coming back, and you can see how it all displays out. That's a nice surface image. So there's going to be several all over this. There's some things by chance, right? But other things are by design, and this is by design, guys. I know it's hard to believe, and I know it maybe upsets the narrative, but we've been smart for a very long time. These people were extremely intelligent. We can look at some more on here. Did we look at the right side profile of the woman here yet? So there's one on the left, of course, and then there's another one on the right. So if you just look in this little crack right here, there's a small little recession. This is not going to work with these shadows like this. There we go. That's a little better. This line right here is where the face is, and I'm going to go ahead and tilt it so that you guys can see it. So you'll be able to see the carved in eye. I'll put the yellow feather like right where the eye is. Maybe try to let you zoom in. I think we looked at this one already. Sometimes I forget which sides we've looked at already. Let's go ahead and flip this one over and take a look at it from the other side. So we're seeing tall headdress or pointy headdress version right here. This is his face area. You can see how it's kind of recessed in there. So let's try to see. I think I see him carved in there. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with this stone, isn't there? Anyway, that's all the big headdress. I can try to put them down and point them out, but I guess you can kind of see him from this angle. So his nose and his mouth are definitely like in here, but this is also an eye flipped upside down. So let's tilt it and see again. The eye, okay. The shadows just are not doing very good. I'm not doing very good with the shadows. This is the eye, and you can see how it's a little recessed in there. There's a lot of different images. That's why it's hard to find and pick one out. But you see there, I just pointed at that eye, and you can pick out the nose there, the lighter color nose, right here, where the tip of my finger is, and then his lips are going to be in there too. That's the face of the large headdress fella. All right, guys. Whew, 15 minutes. there's a lot more to go on with this. If you can see right inside here, actually this is a big eye, this ledge is an eye socket, and there's some lines coming down here. Try to let us see that eye, if you can see the lines in it. It sees you, but do you see it? That's the question. So I think that if you guys find any of this art and study it, you'll be able to see it too. This isn't magic. But that's it for now. I got some more to show. Would you, what would you think if I showed up and had like 6 of these that have photorealistic pictures of people on them that are definitely statues? Like, what's gonna happen then? Because that's what's happened. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Gonna be surprised. Bye-bye.